while displaying a jazz singer's mastery of melodic nuance and improvisatory phrasing. Cassandra Wilson draws on a variety of non-jazz idioms, roots music, rock, Delta blues, country, soul, to create a kind of earthy, intelligent pop with obvious crossover appeal. For some, maybe not for me.
So you'll have to stick around to see how you rate it and how we rate it.
I'm just going to leave it right there for me.
Yeah.
It's like doing your scale and stopping on the 7.
Welcome to the Unconnoisseurs of Jazz, everyone.
Welcome, y'all.
Good to be back.
It's good to see your smiley faces tonight, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been looking forward to this. I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to getting the album over with or hearing y'all's input on Cassandra Wilson's album, Belly of the Sun. Intotech was the record label. I don't have that in front of me. I'm winging it. And obviously, because we're studying
Blue Note.
Oh, I'm sorry. Scratch that. Sorry. On the Blue Note label. I remember ending last week's episode with iTunes had it as a rock album, and I'm like, would Blue Note really do that? Intotech was last week's.
Yep.
So, Belly of the Sun, Cassandra Wilson. We mentioned it last week that we were going to be doing this, so here we are to talk about another Cassandra Wilson album, which came out in 2002. So, Cassandra Wilson, Belly of the Sun.
It's an interesting title. I thought, just to start it off, some conversation there about, I didn't research at all where or how the title came up, but it just seems strange. Belly of the Sun.
It comes from a line in Only a Dream in Rio. It must be Only a Dream in Rio must be a book that she was reading, and she was actually translating that to Yoruba, the Yoruba language. So she just wanted to she translated Only a Dream in Rio, and it just to hear what it sounded like, and it was explained to that in Yoruba, the translation, you would say in the belly of the sun. So,
which just happens to be number something on the album. Only a Dream in Rio.
It's number 6. Yeah, number 6. It's a James Taylor tune.
It's interesting how so many artists get inspiration from books, poetry, or other languages. Recently, I've started to read the book Water Babies, which is a lot of the inspiration that Wayne Shorter had for some of the things that he has written. Obviously, the name of the title that Miles Davis has for a album called Water Babies. Mm-hmm. And it came from the story, or the book, the novel Water Babies. So
it surprises me to the none that you're reading a book that was inspired by Wayne Shorter, or that inspired Wayne Shorter. It does not surprise me in the least.
Wow.
So, what do you say we play a few clips from Cassandra's album?
I love that idea.
Great idea.
All right,
let's do.
Who's on first?
Drew.
Drew? Who do you got? Who do you have pulled up?
I ended up going to You Gotta Move, and I'll talk a little bit about why. Oddly enough, I had one too, and I thought I had a third one, but I had to come up with this. I'll tell you in a little bit. Gotta Move, and I'm going to start it at 1 minute.
You gotta move, child. You gotta move. When the Lord gets ready, you gotta move. You may be blind, you may be white, you may be wrong, you may be right. But when the Lord gets ready, you gotta move. You gotta move.
I just want to listen to the rest of it. It's only 2-minute 45-second long song. So there's so much that happens on this album, and as I said in the beginning, it brings the jazz, it brings the Delta blues, it brings the country, it brings the pop, it brings current tunes or past tunes to the present, and she interprets what her visions of these are. However, to go back to the true Delta blues, this is a rarity on the album for me. This is probably why I would give it the rating that I did and not lower, because there's so much great music. Now, to realize, I was joking in my mind, the Belly of the Sun, it's hot as hell. And they did record this in Mississippi. So the Belly of the Sun, it's hot as hell. And the Delta blues reminded me of that. Now, I cannot, in good conscience, tell people to go watch the movie, because there are some really questionable lyrics, words, actions. It is probably as close to the top end of an R rating as possible. But I listened to the soundtrack again today because we did watch the movie Sinners. Dad, no. You and Mom, no.
No.
Matt,
No.
Kedra, yes. But
Yeah, I've already seen it. Yeah.
but this is that. This is that. That's what I'm thinking. 1930s, the Delta. This is that music, and I love this particular sound. So to me, I love the song. Period.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah. Well, here's the thing that I enjoyed about the clip was her reservation on adding stuff. She could have added a harmonica. She could have added a muted trumpet solo somewhere. She could have added a banjo or some other form of blues instrument in there, but she kept it as simple as she could. It sounded like the two of them sitting around, the three of them, because she has another singer with her, just kind of hanging out, and they hit record, and that's what you get. And I like the fact that she kept it simple, that it was raw and not overdone. That's what I appreciated about that.
Yeah. And of course, when you read up on the album and you realize that she took her musicians with her, but then she called on the local groups to come out. She had some local Mississippi players come out. So, yeah, kudos to that. Get your local
Dad,
boys involved.
What'd you think, Dad?
Oh, I like that, especially for some of the same reasons you both are saying. It has obviously a certain flow to it, and it's catchy. It's very catchy. You've got to move. It doesn't matter black or white. If they're coming after you, you're going to have to get out of there. You're going to have to skedaddle.
When the Lord comes calling, you got to move.
You got to move.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's a great clip. Great clip, Drew. Great clip.
Yep.
So, Matt?
I'm next?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So my pick on the album is song number 10. It's Drunk as Scooter Brown. And as Delta blues as you got, we are going Cajun Creole, Jamaican vibe on my tune. That's how different each song almost on this album is. So start me right about 4 minutes. Play me about a minute or as much as you want, because it's like a 525 minute song or something.
Oh, that's right.
It's not a long song,
I'll let it run out.
Yeah.
Yes. We were drunk as Scooter Brown. Crazy. So tonight. Drunk as Scooter Brown. I'm high on life. Excuse me, sir.
for me, it's the complete opposite end of the spectrum of your clip. This is a happy kind of move your feet, shuffle, get up and shake jazz for a little bit. I don't know. I just looked forward to the song coming on every time I listened to the album.
Okay.
So it's a fun song.
How about the rhythm of it? Isn't that just so good? The steel drum, right?
Yeah, like it's got the calypso, almost kind of Cajun feel. The instrumentation is great. You can hear the bass, you can hear the steel drums, you can hear the guitar and the congos, or bongos. I don't know which one it is.
Yeah.
Probably bongos.
Well, and then
but-
it's a Spanish guitar too.
Yeah,
It's not just a guitar in the background. It's a Spanish guitar. So
Yep.
it is what I would think about as that calypso blend of New Orleans.
yeah. Well, and this is one of her tunes. She wrote that tune, so that's the other reason we got a lot. There's a lot of covers on here, but yeah, she wrote this one, so I really, really appreciated that. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right, Dad, what about you? What's your clip?
How about Show Me a Love, starting about 30 seconds, and play it for about 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
We'll play it until we stop it. How's that?
How about yeah.
Here we go.
Your love looks stuck and steady, light and heady. Show me your love far away from all the glitter and the gloom. Who are we inside the four walls of this tiny room? Is it love we have, or just a grown-up fairy tale? One way or another, son, will blind us with detail. Show me a love that's quick or endless, left defenseless in the cold night air. Oh, just show me a love that's pure enigma in a Kodak picture. Show me a love.
Okay, I'll stop it.
Wow.
He got an extra long
Yeah,
clip.
he
Yeah.
did.
Wow.
Yeah, he did.
Thank you very much. It was worth it, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Definitely worth it. Well, I could tell by the way you guys are flowing with it that you liked it as well. And the rhythm, oh man, it's out of this world. And the way she blends in with the rhythm section, and just a marvelous piece to me. And her voice, the variety and the I said blending, but the variety of her voice, just marvelous.
She wrote this piece as well.
Oh,
So
good.
it is a good clip to highlight.
Yeah.
The notes that I made, and I don't make notes when I listen to the album throughout the week. I like to make my notes right here on live. The first thing that comes to mind for me in that clip, yacht rock.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're sitting out on your boat, on the deck of your boat, sun tanning and having a margarita, and that song comes on. You're not going to turn that off.
No.
Mm-mm.
No, you wouldn't.
Mm-mm.
So that's a
Good.
great clip, and it just shows her flexibility to move between
Mhm.
genres.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you what, for not being, just so everyone knows this, and we've said it a billion times, we are not vocal jazz. We're struggling to become vocal jazz fans. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
It's not that we hate vocal jazz, because we don't. We're struggling
particular.
to. We're particular. Yes.
Good
Particular.
reporter.
Yes. A great reporter. Yeah, no question. But for us, when we started on the journey, we've already covered a Cassandra Wilson album, Blue Light Till Dawn.
Dawn.
And
which really did get good ratings.
It did. It
I
got
mean-
great ratings for not being vocal jazz fans. But she really shows her. Well, Blue Light Till Dawn was from 89, so this album is a little bit newer. But she really shows her range, her flexibility on this to be able to do
Maybe
different
not range,
genres.
but flexibility.
Flexibility. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
The variety and the way she interprets the lyrics is just fantastic to me.
That brings up a good point, Drew.
Yeah.
The way that she interprets the lyrics. I'm not asking you to go into it fully, but what was one of your reservations this week about listening to Cassandra?
So I struggled with this because although I love to listen to somebody else's music, she's a local singer who a couple years ago in a master class at Texas Jazz and Blues said that she likes to sit behind. And she went on to explain that if the tempo's moving, she likes to sit back on the tempo. So she's not falling on the 1. She may not even fall on the 2. Heck, she may start on the 3. And then she's got to move her way through the chords to get to where she wants. What it comes out to me is if you're playing a song and it sounds like a beautiful harmonizing, well, if you don't get caught up with that chord in time, now there's dissonance. There's this tension between where she's singing and where the notes really are supposed to be. And so she falls back. And so she did a project with Autumn Leaves with one of the bass players. And although it sounded beautiful, her slow delivery of it meant that the bass was driving the tempo and the chord changes. Now, for some musicians, they know that that's what the person's going to do, so they can adjust accordingly to drop the chords at the right time and keep the rhythm going. So some of the other songs is that Cassandra starts at the beginning of the album where she's really back. She's laid back and taking it really easy. And so I'm like, just sing it on the right measure, the right beat. Sing it. Don't interpret it this way. But then my mind shifted after reading, and I'll post a link to the website I was reading where the entry came, the introduction of this album came from. The improvisatory phrasing. If you're not going to be able to sing in the phrase that's there, you have to change your pitch up and down to match it, which means your vocal. And the song that I really struggled with was a song that we all know, The Weight.
Yes.
And then the other one that she does this to me on was Shelter from the Storm. And that's song number 9. So Wait was song number 1 and song number 9, where these are tunes that we already know. We know how they've been delivered by the masses of musicians. So for you to sit back and sing a little slower than the tempo, to change, but she changed her phrasing to match the chord structures, the
So does
improvisatory
that
phrasing.
That bugs you though, right?
Oh, to no extreme.
Okay.
But I'm also the guy that grew up in marching band. It's marching band season here in Texas. So,
Yep.
in the U.S.
Yep.
So all these kids are going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3. So there's a tempo
Yeah.
when things are supposed to fall, and it's the same thing with learning to understand and appreciate free jazz. If you would think that she's singing in a free jazz style, that's what she was doing. It's like, come on. But then there are some, and this is what happened. The clips that we picked were so much of a true roots style music that you don't ever hear this. And so now I feel like, yeah, based on our clips, you don't get to hear what I'm referring to.
I'm just trying to talk you into a higher score. That's all.
That's all right.
What'd y'all think of the Wichita lineman?
I like
love that.
I did too.
Loved it.
But the
Yeah.
Wait, that's the one, the opening track of the song called The Wait. That's the one that gets me because I've heard other bands do it.
Yeah.
It's a Robbie Robertson tune from they're called who are they? the band. It's called the band.
The band, yeah.
Yeah, from the band called the band. But yeah, you hear other artists do
Here,
it, and
I'm just gonna
like
go ahead and hit play on that.
Okay.
I'm gonna move forward a little bit.
I just needed some place where I could lay my head. I said, hey, mister, can you tell me where a girl might find a bed? He just grinned and shook his head. No, is all they said. Oh, take a load off.
And then it hits nice and smooth right there again. And so it's just like she's leaning back, laying back, and then she catches up, and then and I think the other is the rhythm section. Are you playing 3/4 to keep up with her? 4/4, 5/4. What are you playing? And they're holding it steady, and just letting her move throughout. And
Okay, let me pose another question. Just when you go, who's your favorite band to go listen to? You guys go listen to who's that punk band that you guys go here? Do they
Social Distortion? We'll go see them all the time.
Okay. Do they ever change up their tune? Or when they walk out on stage, they play exactly the way that it is on the record?
It's always going to be
time?
changed up because it's punk, and when they started playing it, they didn't know what they were doing to begin with. So
okay, all right. That's good that you answered that way. Gaelic Storm, who I'll talk about in my week in music, they do the same thing. They get so tired of singing their song over and over and over again. Hootie and the Blowfish does the same thing. Darius Rucker.
Yeah.
They get so tired of singing Hold My Hand that they're going to sing a country version. They're going to sing a reggae version. They're going to sing a calypso version. They're going to sing Stars and Stripes version just to do something different in their mind to keep the song fresh.
Yeah.
So that they don't have to sing it 20 billion times the same way. And that's what I think Cassandra's doing. And again, I'm not arguing with you. I appreciate the fact, yes, she's interpreting her song, the song in her style.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to talk you into a higher score.
I give love for that. I really do. But in our weeks in music, this is not the week to screw with music for me.
Okay.
But I went back after this weekend, and you listen to the album again after watching the movie I did. And there's a scene that we'll talk about off air, but this is the roots of jazz and blues. This Delta blues is where it came from, and you're bringing generations, you're bringing 100 years of style with the calypso, with the blues, with the jazz, with the pop songs, with the folk tunes. You're bringing it all into one album. And so I think that maybe I felt it was a bit much. Now, my rating's in pencil. It will always change. Matt, you had another song that you had picked, because we're starting to find this out, guys. I get my pick. And I go ahead, what'd you pick? And then Dad says, hey, tonight I want to listen to Show Me the Love. Well, he chooses at 30 seconds, and I was already written down at 45 seconds. Matt says Drunk as Cooter Brown at 4 minutes, and I'd already chosen it at 2. So I come up with a third. So we're all coming up with backups, because we know that we're finding similarity in the things that we want to highlight about an album. So I think
it would be interesting. I think it would be interesting to play just a clip of Waters of March, because she sings more straight there instead of all laid back. She has to sing straight. So you pick any, what do we say?
About 45 seconds in.
45 seconds. Just play 10 or 15 or 20 seconds of that, just so we can get a comparison of what we're talking about.
Blowing free, it's the end of a slope. It's a beam, it's a void, it's a hunch, it's a hope. And the riverbank talks on the waters of March. It's the end of all strain, the joy in your heart. It's the joy in your heart.
Even there, she lays back a little bit right there, but when she's singing the verse, she can't do it. She cannot lay back there, because it would get all mixed up.
Nope.
So it's just,
and so my score could change based on the fact that we're listening to clips where she's not laying way back. Sarah Sharp loves to do that. And if you guys go listen to Sarah Sharp, she's a brilliant vocalist. And I love listening to her sing. But when she starts to really lean back on the tempo, who's driving this bus if not the vocalist? And so there's some trust.
At that point, the band has to say, look, you can lay back, but we got to keep going.
Yeah.
So the bass player says, lady, I'm driving the bus. You're holding on to the door, running beside me. So catch up. Let's go.
Yep.
And the drummer's looking around like, oh, wait a minute.
Wait, we're on a bus?
Yeah.
That's the drummer.
Yeah.
Where did you say we're going? I didn't even know we were going anywhere. Why are we on a bus? Yeah. Oh, man.
But you're right, Dad. Yes, the drummer and the bass player have to stay in sync. Yeah. So I appreciate the fact that it bothers you. I really do. And again, I'm not being argumentative.
No, I don't take it that way.
Up just a little bit because I know what I rated this album. We haven't done the slideshow yet, so let's do the slideshow real quick so we can get further.
I was afraid that we weren't going to have much to talk about. We're 10 minutes behind schedule on getting to the slideshow, so let's do it.
I know. I apologize for that. Just like I've said for 130 weeks now, whatever you do it to jazz. You're going to see in our Week in Music, here in our Week in Music, coming up in just a little bit, is pretty much what we do. We listen to jazz all week long. We don't only listen to the artists that we're talking about. Trust me on that. But man, whatever I do, it's pretty much done to jazz. As Drew mentioned earlier, we are using the book from Nate Chinnan called Playing Changes, Jazz for the New Century. And he's got 131 artists on his list, and that is the list that we are using. They're broken up in years. So far, we've done 2000, 2001, and this week, Cassandra Wilson, she wraps up the 2002 portion of our list for 2002. And he does do a good explanation of why he put them in the book. Now, the book goes into much more detail. And the three of us read the book, so I'm plugging the book. We're not affiliated with Nate whatsoever. We're not sponsored by Nate, and I just want to plug his book. It's available at your local bookstores and Amazon.com. If you just want the information from the list, like we're going to use tonight, it's available at playingchangesbook.com/essential albums. Okay, my little brief bio about Cassandra Wilson. We've already done a Cassandra Wilson album, so I tried to get different facts on this week's slide. This album ranked number 2 on Billboard Top Jazz Albums in 2002, which does not surprise me. It's a great album. I wanted to go. I got freaky this week, and I wanted to go and see what else was on the 2002 list. So I pulled up a whole lot of jazz from 2002. I can see why this is ranked number 2. I didn't listen to the number 1 ranked album, but the rest of the stuff that I heard from 2002 is no surprise why this one made it as number 2. This one was recorded on the Wally Heider mobile unit. Now, did a little research on Wally Heider. He has recorded some of the premier jazz venues. He's recorded some of the premier festivals, jazz festivals. I was trying to think of the word festival. But he's got a mobile unit, and that's what this album was recorded on. I don't have, you'll probably be able to find pictures, Drew, but
Cassandra Wilson has already solidified her aura. Deep sorcery, commingling with dark sensuality when she took up the abandoned train station in Clarksdale, Mississippi. So that gave me that idea of where they were. It was the abandoned train station. So I can kind of picture a mobile unit being in an old old train car, an old building or something.
Yep, an old building staircase where the reverb is just outstanding.
which made me think, we're in Mississippi, so it is the belly of the sun. It's hot as all get out.
Yep, absolutely. So I was reading a little bit more information. She went to school, went to college. She had her son, and then she and her son moved to New York. And they once lived in an apartment that belonged to this guy, Dad.
What's his name? He
Count
had a
Dracula.
band, right?
One,
Count,
2, 3.
Bass.
Count Basie. Yeah, they used to live in Count Basie's old apartment. So I just found that fact very interesting. I love to rub that in Drew's face that Dad and I got to see the Count Basie Orchestra, and he did not.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I cannot wait until May of next year because I'm going to tell you how many great artists I went and saw at the inaugural jazz festival here in Austin, all in one
Yes.
place. So then
That's
I will
right.
tell you guys just like you tell me, hey, I saw.
That's right. I just like rubbing it. Anyways, the last fact is she's got 19 albums as a leader, and man, yeah, it's just some good art. So I went ahead and put a quote up by Cassandra, and Cassandra said, "I learned a lot about taking a different path from Abby, investing your lyrics with what your life is about in the moment." And from Abby, she means Abby Lincoln. She just wanted a different path from Abby, investing lyrics with what it's about in the moment. My favorite band, Need to Breathe, just put out an album, and that's what their album. It's what it is. It's a snapshot in time. It's this moment, and they put it together so beautifully. I'm not plugging Need to Breathe. I'm just telling you that not only jazz artists do that. A lot of artists do snapshots in time. This is me right now. So, okay, that does it for the slideshow. I'll just go through these real quick. We do have a 24-hour streaming radio channel, WTUR.org. You can find that on your mobile device or your computer. Just pull up the website and press play. You've got 24 hours streaming jazz. We do have a merchandise store on the unconnoisseur.com website. If you don't like looking at our beautiful faces and you just want to hear us ramble on about great music that we love, you can listen to our podcast on Amazon, iTunes, and Spotify. But you're here on YouTube, so hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe and hit that bell so that you get notified of when our new episodes drop. So, Cassandra.
By the way, in 2020, live at the Apollo, Cassandra was a guest artist with the Count Basie Orchestra. Just telling you.
There you go.
Random fact of the day.
Now you're talking.
Oh, you're great.
Now you're
I'll tell
talking.
you what. She gets an extra notch in my book because she sang on an album of an artist that I love. She played on sang on Courtney Pine's Modern Day Jazz Stories. She sang the song Don't Explain, which is a jazz classic standard tune anyways. I love the tune. I love the way she sings it, and it's on Courtney Pine's album. So she gets another
Courtney
notch.
Pine, Modern Day Jazz on the Antilles label from 1995.
Yeah, and we covered that in the top 100. Oh, no, we did not cover that album.
No.
We covered
Journey
we
to
covered
the
Courtney-
Urge Within.
Journey to the Urge Within.
I listened to both of those this week.
It does not surprise me.
Uh,
All right, Dad, tell us, what did you think, overall impression of Cassandra Wilson?
You know, the very first time, I think it was Wednesday morning, I was probably on my way someplace, and I started the music coming through the radio, and I liked it immediately. I thought, I cannot wait to hear, based on the beginning, the very first track, the first minute, I cannot wait to catch the rest of this album. I really look forward to it. I like the way, and I think the word interpret was used earlier. I like the way she interprets the lyrics and the mellow flow of her voice. Now, Drew, that's somewhat of a distortion, I guess, with timing and all those kind of things I don't understand. But through the whole album, her voice and the blending of the music, to me, it was captivating. And I just wanted to continue to listen to it and follow the whole album all the way through. So I thoroughly enjoyed listening to Cassandra Wilson, The Belly of the Sun, this week. So
For me, it was this change. Every song was different enough to keep you interested to listen to the whole album. If she would have done songs like The Wait all the way through, I probably would have gotten bored quickly. I mean, I like The Wait, but if you're going to play me a country blues album, I get bored quickly. If you're going to play me a Delta Blues album, I'd listen to the album. But she switches up every tune. I like the fact that her voice, her instrument is gorgeous. Okay, I love the tone, the timbre of her voice. Not until you said something this morning that I fully listened to the timing and can understand why you get irked by it. It did not irk me at whatsoever, but I can understand why you get irked. So
now, don't get me wrong. The timing is one thing. But I agree with both of you. Her voice is just beautiful. It has that smooth, buttery sound and texture like Gregory Porter does. It's just the mastery. She has a mastery in her voice that allows her to do these things. And just like we've just now all said, she brings a lot of different music in together. You're talking about soul, talking about country, Delta blues, the rock music, and she interprets some pop tunes or even folk tunes, if you will. So the ability to do that and to create, the reason I said it, improvisatory phrasing. She's just an instrument improving. And so if it's a trumpet or a trombone laying back on it, I probably wouldn't have struggled with it as much. I would, because I'm like, there's timing for a reason, and are you swinging? And that's what hit me just a little bit ago. She's just swinging with the tempo. She's finding the freedom in it, and that is improvisation. It just happens to be the phrasing that gets improvised vocally and not vocally through an instrument. So
let me ask a question, I think, that I asked before we went on. I was at physical therapy today, and I talk every time I'm there. I talk about the Unconnoisseur and the therapist, Jared is his name, doing a marvelous job. And he said, "Do you guys ever listen to music that's kind of woven between jazz and other genre?" And I think you guys mentioned a couple things here, and you mentioned Courtney Pine just a minute ago. So talk a little bit about that, if you would, and how some of the artists that we've listened to actually do weave other genre into the jazz genre.
The first thing that came to mind for me when you brought that up earlier was the neo-soul music of RH Factor. They played on the WTUR.org today, so I got to listen to some Hargrove, and of course I'm out doing yard work, so I might as well go listen to the RH Factor. Erykah Badu playing with Robert Glasper.
Mm-hmm. But those are all the neo-soul. Those are all more updated. Yeah. I'm trying to picture.
But if you think about Miles Davis and rock, he wanted to play with Jimi Hendrix. So the electric fusion comes from that. So they cross.
I mean, Bitches Brew would be considered a kind of a crossover album. Well, not it's a crossover album.
And Man with the Horn.
Man with the Horn.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then you bring that even, okay, that was 70s. Jazz and blues. Is there a crossover from the Delta blues to the jazz? We just listen to it. And so there's interpretation of that too. And I find it interesting.
Modern day jazz stories is definitely a crossover. Yeah. You find it interesting. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No. I need to find it again, and I'll post it when I find it. Gentleman was talking about, this was his second episode or part 2 of Hard Bop. And he used the phrase, this is the last bit of the trunk before it went out into bigger branches. And that Hard Bop had soul, it had feeling, it had phrasing that you could hum and sing to, and it was not the 16th notes of Charlie Parker going, it had that. And so from that standpoint, after Hard Bop, you start to see the branches coming out. And if it's a big oak tree like we have here in Texas, those tree branches go forever. They may go out 60 feet from the trunk. And that's where we're at today with 2000s music.
Who was the other artist that we mentioned? We said Cassandra Wilson. We said Courtney Pine. Oh, yeah, Robert Glasper.
Robert
Right.
Glasper. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are just a couple of examples of some cross jazz, other genre mix.
Go to Gil Evans and Third Stream. Go to Sonny Rollins and Calypso. You go to Stan Getz and Bossa Nova.
Bossa Nova, yeah.
Wow.
Joe Harriet and the Indian.
Indo Jazz Suite.
That you guys covered that pretty well. Thank you. But I interrupted your take on the album itself when I asked that question.
Who?
So
Me?
no, I interrupted you guys because you didn't get a chance to talk about your impression.
Here's what I value about the question, though. You've taken all of these and put them on an album. You've taken a little bit of everything, the steel drum. You've taken the slide guitar. You've taken the bluesy Delta blues guitar. You've taken, I couldn't remember, and I'm sorry, guys. They've got the choir from the area as well, and I never did write down which song the choir was from. But you're taking Cassandra's taken all of this and put it together. Now, if you look at it from that standpoint, and when I was reading on the website from Playing Changes as well as from the band, you're bringing all of these things in for the relevance of crossing over to everything. The album before this was Traveling Miles, so you had a lot of tribute type stuff to that, and his years of doing different things. So she interpreted his music style. So to me, it blends it all together, Dad. Your question on this is, Cassandra kind of sums it up with, I want to do a little bit of everything on this. It's the poo-poo platter of music, since we like food analogies.
We're going to have to be careful calling ourselves the unconnoisseurs of jazz, because 2 years ago, we would not have known any of these names.
No.
2.5 years ago, we'd have been like, who is Cassandra Wilson? And how can I compare
2 years
her?
ago, who is Cassandra Wilson? And then
Right.
you read that she sang on a Wynton Marsalis piece.
But
Blood on
what
Field.
I'm saying is, we're having a very, very intelligent discussion about an album it's an amazing album. First of all,
Yeah.
I say we just go ahead and rate it right now.
3,
I
2,
know
1,
I
go.
know you I know you don't want to, Drew, but I don't know why
I
you don't
do.
want to.
I want to
I'm
hear what y'all have. So
Okay, all right. So
mine is, by the way, written down right here. So
in
I have
pencil. In pencil.
it in pencil.
This week
Hang on, let me
I
get my
rated
eraser out. I got a big eraser.
Cassandra Wilson, Belly of the Sun, at a 9.
Word.
Okay. Blue Light Till Dawn got an 8.5 from me when we did our top 100.
Okay.
And I like Belly of the Sun a little better than I liked Blue Light Till Dawn. So this banging album, I'm straight 9.
Good. Me too. I looked it over. I listened to it. Obviously, I looked at the numbers. I looked at the criteria, and I thought, wow, it's a 9.
Okay.
Solid, rock solid.
So since we're both 9s, what would have made the album better enough to give it a full 10? Because we're not the only ones. And you think about it for a minute while I read these. Belly of the Sun, All About Jazz gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. Buffalo News gave it 4.5 out of 5. Penguin Guide to Jazz gave it 3 out of 4. Tom Hull, I don't know who Tom Hull is. He's probably a jazz critic, gave it a B+. So we're not the only ones who don't absolutely love the album, but I think a 9 is a banging score. I can't picture any. I don't know why I'm stuck at a 9 and not a 10, but
there were parts of it that didn't quite move me emotionally
yes.
in that area. And the spirit, though I like the variety. I really like the variety of the music. And it seems like some of the tracks were older pieces, whatever previous that had been previously recorded. But the spirit and the emotion, I thought, nah, I'm not quite there yet. That's part of where the biggest part of where I was with 9.
Yeah, because the craftsmanship is definitely there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
The awareness definitely was there. So 9s.
Okay. All right, Drew. What do you got? Did we make you change your score or
Well,
not?
it's interesting because as I process through all the songs and song titles, I close it up so I'm not looking at them. I think one of the things that hit me probably hardest this week, and we'll get into our week in music in a moment, is that some people may be in a mood. And when you listen to a lot of, I'm going to say this, a lot of it was a woe is me type song. There was nothing really celebratory in any of the lyrics. Take a load off. The weight, all of these things were a heaviness. And I think I'm already feeling that personally. So for me, it was a heavy album. And what I love, of course, is that I'm learning to play music. A lot of the music I tend to learn this week was more upbeat or positive. Now, One Foot in the Gutter from Clark Terry is a different tune, but the way in which he plays it, it's a blues tune, and I love it, and it made me smile every time. And just trying to transcribe it was the biggest problem that I had this week. If you print it, anyways, long story, but I think that when I came into the album, the first song, Wait, just kind of made me go, oh man, I'm going to listen to Cassandra sit back on this. And how do you make it work? Leave the song alone. Ain't nobody ever going to do Giant Steps any greater than John Coltrane, so don't mess with a good tune. That may have some influence of my week already. So let's be mindful of that. Throughout this dialogue, I had a number written down, and it did get a half a point up. So
Okay.
it did. Now,
right.
the reason for me to give it is an 8.5. I started out at an 8, and even this afternoon listening to the album, I had 7.5 written down. And I'm thinking, it's not really a 7.5 album. It's got to be at least an 8, so I'm good with 8. Listening to the tracks again with you guys, not every song is laid back and leaned back. Not every song is a straightforward vocal tune, because when you listen to her sing, it's like a cello. There's something beautiful about her voice. So I ended up at an 8.5. Of course, yes, my number did change throughout the dialogue tonight.
Good job, Matt. Good job. You did it. You did it.
I do appreciate the fact that you did say that it was heavy, because now that you say it, I did feel that way a few times too. Wow. I should go listen to Cassandra Wilson, but man, I need something a little better. I need something a little upbeat right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the 6 or 7 times that I listened to it didn't hinder me and think, oh, this is weighing me down. Woe is me.
No.
But I can see heaviness.
I appreciate that, what you're saying, Drew and Matt. I didn't feel melancholic as I listened to it.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that at all. I think I could listen. I shouldn't say I think I could. I could listen to this music again.
Oh yeah.
Setting like on your back patio, Matt.
Yeah.
Or Drew in your back patio.
Yeah.
I could sit there and take in the atmosphere, I could listen to it.
So okay, so we got our ratings, and I'm happy with the ratings. And this album is from 2002, though. This is an old album. And I'm giving him time to get it pulled up. And
it's a whole 20. It's a 24-year-old man.
4 years old.
It's an old album.
Old album. So, Dad, why don't you tell us what's new?
I'd love to.
What's new?
The slide pulled up says, "What's new?" Aaron Shaw. The title of the album is "And So It Is," released just before Valentine's Day of this year. And there's 8 songs, 42 minutes long. The label, that's interesting, is Leaving Records. And I looked up Leaving Records today, and the description is, they cover a variety of genres. It's not just jazz; it's electronic and some of the newer stuff. So let me look here. I've got. I'm going to read this like I did last week. The Los Angeles jazz musician crafted the record in the aftermath. This is a significant thing here. Following a harrowing medical diagnosis, of bone marrow failure.
Oh,
So this cat has had some struggles in his life, and the resulting music pulls at these threads of isolation and embodiment and meaning making, weaving and reweaving what it means to peer into the void. So this album resonated with me, partly because of that, what I had gone through, as our listeners have been made aware, with the cancer treatment and the chemo treatment. The variety of instruments and artists on this album. There's a vocoder.
yeah, the vocoder.
Yeah, and I looked up what a vocoder was. It's an electronic audio signal processor. You guys can understand that, I'm sure. That analyzes and synthesizes the human voice.
Do you feel like I feel?
That's the vocoder.
Yeah.
This is from that
Is
tune
this-
by
No,
Eric Clapton.
Eric Clapton. Yeah.
Right? Maybe. I don't know. I'll look that up. But
So it's like used in the robot.
yeah, but it's used in music too.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the week, the old man and new music. And
Drew, did you get a chance to check out the album?
I did not. I'm regretting the
Okay.
fact that I did not.
I'm just going to tell you this. This is not a poo-poo platter. This is the entire buffet. You will not leave
Okay.
this album hungry.
I'll put it
I-
on tonight when we're done.
I listened to it yesterday morning, of course, while I was vacuuming the house and getting ready for people to come over for my wife's birthday party.
thank you very much.
I had it on in my ears and I was blown away at the intensity. I was blown away at the craftsmanship. I was blown away. I don't know. It knocked me on my socks
Mhm.
because I say it almost every week. I don't know where you're coming up with them. You knocked it out of the park once again.
Well, just wait till next week.
Okay. All right.
I got something for you
Got
next week.
something for me next week. I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. All right, Drew. You've been quiet for a minute. Why don't you tell us about your week in music?
Well, it's a week in music. I've had a lot of great albums through my ears, mostly because I just didn't want to keep going back to Cassandra. I did go back to Blue Light Till Dawn, which we had all rated 8s, Matt and 8.5. So I've had a lot of great music. It's just been, mostly it's just been a grind of a week. It's another week. Another things pop up, come and go, and we've been doing a lot of parallel parking because Wednesday morning, in 2 days, Lily will go get her license. So I'm pretty excited about that. We've come a long way. We've not made it mandatory that she learn to drive. So we've spent a year just driving here and there. So she's comfortable, confident, but there'd been no reason to. at school back and forth, and all of last season I taught at the school. So this summer we had a lot of driving. So especially the last few weeks, we've put a lot more time in parking and parallel parking and doing all the things. So Wednesday we'll go down, and if all goes well, we leave with the driver's license, and we get ready for school in just 2 weeks. So it's coming quickly.
Oh my goodness.
I think my heaviness is just life in general. It's been one of those weeks. I have no particular reason why I feel that the that the blues resonate with me this week, but I don't need to be reminded of it. So I think in the book by Albert Murray, Stomping the Blues Away, it says the little blue devils are always nipping at your heels, and this week it seemed like they were there. So I think Cassandra's album reminded me how close they were. And so to sit down, I spent 2 hours trying to transcribe One Foot in the Gutter by Clark Terry. I've got almost all of it except for his stinking intro. And I just can't figure it out, because I'm not playing the high G and A and C's up there off the staff. So to me, it's just one of those kick in the butts where, I'm just reminded that I don't have the proficiency up at the range yet. And so those little blue devils are just nipping at the heels, and I just want to get them away. And there's no way to shake them free. So
okay, so let me ask you a question about my niece. Is she a pull through, or is she a stop and back out of the parking space?
Grandpa parking? Is that what you're referring to?
Hey, come on.
I'm a pull through so that I do not have to back up. If there's a stop,
she has talked about this for eons. Did you know that Grandpa always finds a spot where he can pull through, so he always goes out forward? And I'm like, well, yeah. And of course, she started to ask why I always back in park. I'm like,
yeah.
For me, it's emergency exit. Are you trying to get out of here in a hurry? No, but if you have to, I'd like to be the guy that's face forward, so I'm not trying to figure out if there's anybody behind me. So in the last couple of years, I've adopted what we call Grandpa's parking. Pull through so you can go out forward. I'd rather walk 3 parking spots longer to get to the building so that I could pull through.
Pull through. It just makes sense.
So,
The reason I do that, I have been told over and over and over again, why don't you just pull through so that you don't have to back up? So it's really Grandma's rule.
Yeah.
okay.
And,
I'll let her know that.
Okay.
yeah,
All right,
yeah.
Dad, you want to go with your week?
Sure. In terms of music, let me start with music. I did Herbie Hancock's legendary recordings,
Ooh.
and that is a lot of tracks, a lot of songs with that. How about what's his name? Wayne Shorter? Is that
I've
somebody we
heard of
know?
that guy. I've heard of him.
I listened to the album Adam's Apple,
Oh, come on.
which was obviously
That's
really
some of
good.
the best tracks on that album ever.
Yep. Yep. Cassandra, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I listened to 3 of her albums: Blue Light Till Dawn, New Moon, New Moon Daughter, and Closer to You, the pop side.
Yeah.
And then also listened to Freddie Hubbard, Play Miles.
Ooh, oh, what an amazing
Yeah.
album.
Yeah, yeah. Everything just was great. Now, in the midst of all that, I've been I've had some issues related to recovery. I have been able to sleep, but my energy level, my appetite is low. I've not ridden a bike for a full week, and I missed that. I just haven't been able to jump on it and get a ride in. And so, yeah, I've been down that way. Not gaining any weight. Some mornings I feel like I've lost 2 or 3 pounds. I weigh myself almost every day. And yeah, my pants, I was wearing size 40s, and I don't need to unbutton I can just pull them off and let them drop when I'm ready to take them off.
Probably 36s are big for you now, and
I would-
34s probably fit you pretty well.
I would say, yeah. Yep. So
That means you
that's-
probably look like a homeless Bill running around in pants 3 times too big.
yes. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Oh,
That's been my week. Of course, Phil and Scotty were here this week,
Yes.
which was good. They had their things. Mom and I had our times here while they're out and about, going here and going there. We did get them off today. We dropped them at the Fort Wayne International Airport, and at
Good.
2:30, and they're still in Chicago. They had a 4-hour layover in Chicago before they boarded a plane and made their way to Munich. And so they're flying to Munich, and then from Munich they have a hour and a half, 2-hour layover there to get on their way to Bucharest. So little brother's back on his way back to Bucharest, Romania.
cool.
So it was hard. It was really hard to say goodbye again because it's not likely they'll be here. They'll be back in a year, probably much longer than that before they come back again. So
Yeah, we almost had Taylor Swift on the show last week.
Right.
yeah. But Matt, yesterday was really good with the family, Phil's whole family, plus Brady's girlfriend Mandy, who's just a sweetheart. And we had pizza, and Kenny was there, and Cindy was there, and it's just you can say more about that, I'm sure, but it was great. Thank you.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. One of these times, Drew will make it.
Oh,
Yeah.
then the whole family would be there.
That's right.
I need a bigger
right.
porch.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
So who's
But-
next?
But carnitas would fill us all.
I'm cooking. Let's do it.
Oh,
Carnitas would fill us all.
oh,
So my week, just like you guys, I did Blue Light Till Dawn, New Moon Daughter, of course. There's the album, Belly of the Sun. I did some more Ben Allison. I went back to Peace Pipe this week and really dug into Peace Pipe again because I'm falling in love with those early artists that we covered in the year 2000 and 2001. These feelings are just coming back to me. Like I know this music now, and so I can really just sit back and enjoy it. We had the pleasure last week. We were in Dayton, Ohio for Irish Fest. This weekend, we had the pleasure of going with some different friends to Dublin, Ohio for Dublin Irish Fest. Our favorite band, Gaelic Storm. I don't only listen to jazz, by the way. I do listen to Gaelic Storm and Need to Breathe. But our favorite Irish band, Gaelic Storm, played Friday night at Dublin Irish Fest, and we got to go hear them play. The reason that I made such a big deal about her changing up the songs is because Gaelic Storm does that too. And our friends, this was the first time they had seen them live. And the comment that he made as we were walking away was, I wish they wouldn't have sang cover tunes. I wish they would have stuck to their originals, and I wish they would have sung their originals more like they sound on the album. And I reminded him, these guys go on tour 258 days out of the year for 20 years. They get tired of singing the same song over and over and over again the same way. So they change it up just a little bit. They add stuff to it. They take stuff away from it. It's still the same song, but you know how they change it up. So we spent the weekend in Dublin, Ohio, had a great time with our friends. And then we had a birthday party for Kendra yesterday. Today's her actual birthday. So Kendra, happy birthday. I'm sorry that we're recording on your birthday. Had I thought about that, we would have recorded tomorrow night. But anyways, yeah, it's her birthday today. And so we had a party yesterday, had everyone over for pizza and salad and some games. And we learned a new game. Little brother taught us a new game. Screw your friend, screw your neighbor. It's kind of like euchre, kind of like spades. Sure. It's fun. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. We had some fun playing it. So I had an overall great week. My weekend music, of course, Chaz, the radio channel, Ben Allison, and just Cassandra up the wazoo. So, and Dad's What's New, of course.
certainly.
Because I'm the only one that listens to it. He doesn't he doesn't listen to it.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't care.
I didn't
works.
see it until you sent over the slide. So I was
Oh,
like,
so he doesn't pay attention to your text either. At least I pay attention to your text.
Did he send it as a
Thank you.
text, or did you guys talk
Thank
about
you.
it in person?
No,
Text
early
lady.
in the week.
Okay,
I tell you,
that's
Matt,
the
what are we
kind of
gonna
week
do with
it's
him?
been.
I don't know.
it just,
It's
Well-
a good thing he's the producer and writes the paychecks. Otherwise, we'd have to fire him.
that's right.
Anytime you're ready, big dog.
Exactly.
Anytime you're ready. So that leads us to this then. Next week, we're going to be looking at Bad Plus. These are the Vistas. It was on the Sony Music label, 10 songs long, 52 minutes total of listening, released, of course, in 2003. So the Bad Plus, these are the Vistas.
I got to be honest. I don't think I've ever heard the Bad Plus. Maybe I have, but I don't
I'm
think I
almost
have.
certain that Dad popped up the Bad Plus once for What's New, Old Man, but I'll have to check. Or
I'm
that
not
was
sure.
the Bad, Bad, Good. It was something like
Yeah,
that.
that was bad.
Bad, good.
Money death.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Or Newcastle. All right.
Okay. Well, thanks for sticking around with us this long. We really
Yes.
appreciate it. Make sure that you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button so that you stay tuned. If you got a comment, we missed something about Cassandra Wilson, please leave a comment. Let us know how we did tonight.
Adios.
Good night.
Otherwise, hasta la vista.
Yeah.
These are the Vistas, baby.
These are the vistas. These are the vistas.
These are not the Vistas you're looking for.
I've got you, Vista.